Let us move on without hesitation. I say we jamming to the song of the Caribbean, we grooving to Calypso and Steve.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
The venue is Tobago, and it's going to be a grand show. A true Caribbean, Callaloo mix up. When we start to jam up, we going non-stop.
Thanks and connection. Good morning, Brother Delbert, Comrade Delbert Baptiste. How are you today?
Good morning, comrade. Good morning.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, it has been a long week.
Very much so.
Yeah, a long week, and
There's so much happening in the world.
what's has been happening?
Yes.
And over the last couple of days, from last week, after we left here, a lot have transpired in the
Yes.
political field, and there a lot of ranting, a lot of raving, a lot of people just, well, for the lack of a better word, expressing their political disgust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some who sometime probably saw themselves as neutral in the political arena become partisan in some way or the other. There are those who seek to condemn and lay blame at our Prime Minister, and again our former Prime Minister ranting, the language used, in the circles,
Yeah.
So the political language is that being spoken now, and you have who was one time supporters of the party have become sort of a, what is it, despondent? I don't know if I use it as a term here, but
Which of the former prime minister's party?
Of the present party, and there are those who seek to say there's no difference, and there are those who speaking, well, they used to do it before, so what's wrong now? If we're doing it too, kind of a political melee, if you will. But also, I want us to look at, first of all, I want us to look into the fact, the rant, the statements made by the former Prime Minister and the Bullerman thing.
Yeah.
Do you think, in your best judgment, that was appropriate for former Prime Minister language, to use those kind of languages?
Oh, absolutely was not. But when I heard the comment, I was reminded by something my mother told me many, many years ago. Okay. Those are the days still when, I used to have to make the weekly call. You couldn't call anytime because, it was expensive. Right? So I used to make the weekly call on Sunday morning. And you know how your parents are. If you call in 9 o'clock, you better call 9 o'clock every Sunday morning. If you call in 11 o'clock, you better call 11 o'clock every Sunday morning. That night, the Saturday night, a good friend of mine named James Archibald had invited me to come out and meet Doc Mitchell, they were having a fundraiser, and he said, "Hey man, come out and listen." Because at that time, I really wasn't ready to get back into Grenadian politics.
Right.
And so it was a fundraiser. I went there. I did make a contribution because that was the whole idea of it. And he said some positive things, He talked about uniting people and everything he said sounded okay.
Right.
Right. As usual, it was a Grenadian affair. So from a fundraiser, he turned into a party. We ended up staying there late. I got home late the following morning. And so I didn't wake up in time to talk to my mother before she went to church. And she called when she didn't hear, because unbeknownst to me, somebody from Grenada had died at some other party that night. Okay? So my mom is not hearing from me. She called, and the phone rang the first time, didn't pick it up. Then it rang again. I was like, okay, it must be important. So I picked it up, and it was pre-caller ID. So I said, this better be important. So, me and my little cocky self, and it was my mother on the line, so she had a good go at me. And I said, Mom, I just got home not too long ago. I went to the fundraiser for Keith Mitchell and whatnot. And she said, excuse me? And she said, well, you're your own man. You're doing your own thing. You could do whatever you want. But you can't come in my house and ever support him. And I said, why? She said, this man is very common. Okay? And she said he will not be good for Grenada and our young people.
Wow.
And that when I saw him this week behaving that way, it took me back to that. Okay. And but he's always been that way. Okay. Keith has always been he's like, in some way, he's like the Donald Trump, right? Of Grenadian politics. He's a guy who, well, except that he's brilliant, Donald Trump is not. So let's make that distinction, because Keith, whatever you want to think about him, the guy has a mathematical, analytical mind, excel in everywhere in his education conquest, right? But he because he grew up in such humble beginnings, he grew up with a deep sense of not belonging and jealousy. Okay, and he just always wanted to be part of that class, because Grenada in Keith time, it had kind of started to move from well, we didn't really have so much of a race problem, but it was more of a class problem.
Yeah.
So he saw politics as his way of bridging that divide. And in his last administration, he created what I thought was a dangerous intersection between big business and politics in Grenada, which said that the two most elite parts of the community sort of came together to disenfranchise those who are least fortunate. All right. And given how how he lost, right? Here he had enjoyed winning 15-0 3 times in his political career. An amazing achievement. Whatever you want, whether you want to like him, whether you want to support him, this is what happened. He won, right? But the last time when he lost in 2008, the 2003 election, he had lost by just by one, 8-7, I think it was, right? In 2003, when the first time when NDC reorganized.
Yeah.
And in 2008, when he lost by 11-4, it was a sort of gradual progression. Okay. But now you had 15, and he and his team were absolutely positively, beyond any doubt, 1000% confident that they were going to win again and that they were going to win 15-0 again. Okay? And the fact that he lost,
Thank you.
in some ways,
Mm.
this is the biggest loss Keith Mitchell has suffered in his life. Because to lose from 15-0 to 9 shows a huge transformation in the general public and what they think about you, and that really at this point in time, they're truly tired about you. Okay?
They have given up on him.
Yeah, they've given up on him.
And
And
even
then,
at this survey,
then in following the loss, we saw the real Keith Mitchell.
Mhm.
The bitterness, the vindictiveness, the maliciousness, the emptiness of, the lack of any kind of humanity.
Mhm.
In other words, he, at this point in time, is willing to burn the entire system down because he's not in power.
Yeah, you want to take it down with him.
Yeah, and this hurts. So he's only all he has left is that barrel of malicious, vindictive kind of behavior. So that's all we are going to see between now and whatever time he's no longer on the political scene, or, unfortunately, if biology steps in. So I am not surprised that he's behaving that way, but I think it's despicable when you have, again, whatever you want to think about Keith Mitchell. He's our longest serving prime minister, longest serving person in parliament. I'm an institutionalist, so I have a certain amount of respect for the office of the prime minister, and think that people should be afforded, I don't want to use the word privileges, but afforded certain courtesies after you have attained that office, whether you are in the office or you're a former prime minister. His behavior this week says that he's not deserving of those courtesies, okay? And that the NDC needs right now to take the gloves out on him. There's no holding back. There is no, let's see if we can get him into the fold.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can learn something from him. Let's see if we can unite by bringing him in, by always trying to be inclusive of his.
By fire, by force, bring him in, right?
Yeah. That's done. It's take the gloves off now. Double barrel shotgun. And I don't mean a literal gun, so
I know.
You got to go and say.
But go after him with full force.
Go after him in a systematic way and dismantle whatever legacy he believed that he has, because his legacy is one of failure. He's one of failure, because when you look at Grenada 1983, 84, 85, and where we were in terms of our position within the OECS and Caribbean and the Caribbean, and the strength of our economy then, and what many believe to be the kind of trajectory that we would follow, we've just failed miserably. Okay, we just failed. All the other islands just leapfrogged in front of us, and we have been stagnant. And he is the person most responsible for that stagnation. And like I said, I try hard. I tried really, really, really hard to find something objectively to say this is his legacy, and I couldn't come up with anything.
And what bothers me is that there are those who continue to rally behind, even after making those statements. I mean, I'm not I don't gay bash people. I
Yeah.
don't call people names for who they are. That's who they are, right? There's certain principles that I'm governed by.
Yeah.
Yes. And I would let to each his own, right?
Yeah.
As a spiritual person, a God-loving person, God-fearing person, there's certain principles that I'm governed by. Yes.
Yeah.
My doing is to teach
Yeah.
the principles that governs the earthly realm. Yes,
Yeah.
godly characters.
Mhm.
Yes. Now, if I preach to you, there, but the truth, and you don't want to accept it, that's up to you. That's your choice now.
Yeah.
You can't say I didn't get it, but
Yeah.
I can take a piece of wood and beat your head and make you repeat what the Bible says to convert you.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that this whole thing I say, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Yes?
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
conviction is his conviction, right?
Yeah.
You take a personal, internal, spiritual awakening for such person to transform himself. Yes? Because once he hear the truth, I hear something different that he had never heard before, you start questioning his present life situation versus what he just heard.
Yeah.
Okay? So the prime minister, the former prime minister, making such rant and make this with his colleagues, making such a statement is degrading. One, he dishonors himself as a leader.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? He does not give me the opportunity to say, well, you know, this is a first time gap. This is not the first time you're doing that.
No, this is not. Yeah.
You understand? So if you're all about humanity, yes, and everybody has a right to their own opinion, yeah? Even though they don't have a right to be wrong about the truth, they have a right to their opinion. Yes?
Yeah.
But you can't impose your opinion on people because you feel to do that.
No, you can't.
And the former prime minister has gone off the radar on this one, really far. Right? And it's funny how people let that slide. But bringing into into my now comment, the prime minister's statement in St. Lucia. They ranting over him, want to beat him on the head for that.
Yeah.
But here the former prime minister making a statement, which I think is unbecoming of a former prime minister and a statesman. If you want to call him a statesman.
Well, you expect that. And you know my position on this well. I tell you, it's the same 10 to 15 people. And this week, one of the nights, I've been saying this because I kind of saw it at the very cursory level. And so I decided to kind of just explore it a little further. And even this week, I got I think 2 or 3 friend requests from well known NNP sort of activists on things. I didn't really accept it. On one of them, I responded and say, did you send me a friend request to read what I'm writing, what I post, or you're just trying to monitor what I post? The person never responded. Okay. But I know who some of these players are.
Right.
Quite a few of them operate under assumed names. Okay. And I went down and checked their posts for the last 6 months or so. And I kid you not, is the same 20 to 50, the same 12 to 15 people posting, the same 30 to 50 people liking it. The same people, the same names appear on all the posts. Okay? So it just proves. So what they have been able to do is to make it seem a lot bigger than it really is. Okay? But it's they say, getting a kick from a dying horse or
is the worst kick you can ever get.
The worst kind of kick you can get, right? So this is a dying breed. Okay. Yeah. And NDC needs to focus on governance. They need to focus on uniting, not even NDC, the government, the current government in power needs to focus on good governance, on uniting our people, on creating platforms for job opportunities, and totally ignore, because the NNP is not a threat to NDC right now, despite what they would have you believe. If a snap election was held today, NDC would return with about 11 to 12 seats. Okay, they will increase the majority.
I was saying that to somebody.
Yeah,
And-
so the challenge is not that. The real challenge, well, for NNP is that NNP, we don't know that the party would survive intact by the next time elections are due.
Yeah.
We don't know that. So I would not take them. Focus on the people. Focus on improving people's lives. Focus on creating avenues for employment. Focus on creating a positive atmosphere for investors. Focus on areas of, if you want to redo a tourism product, focus on, we have more water than land. Can we develop a really good fishing industry that you could have a fishing plant in the next year to 2 years that could be employing 100 people between men out there fishing and processing and selling to Europe and North America, all that. Let's focus on these kind of things. Are we doing are we doing infrastructure? Are we doing it the right way? That's something I'm really, really, really concerned about, because I think there are a lot of things that we are building in Grenada right now that we should not be doing it that way. It does not hold up so we can't do governance the same way, okay? Do a little study, look at what has happened, look at buildings that were built 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago. Look at what we're building that were built 20, 30, 35 years ago and make a comparison, because I see a real big difference in how these buildings hold up, the level of maintenance. Let's not just do projects for doing projects. Let's make sure we're doing them the right way, and that 50 years from now, they would stand the test of time. And I think they're heading in that direction. But it's embarrassing when you have a prime minister in a Western hemispheric country who has been in office for so long, who has lived in the United States and very worldly traveled, to make a statement like that. It's embarrassing for him, but it paints us Grenadians, both living at home and living in the diaspora, in a really it paints us like
that's who we are as a people.
Yeah, in a really terrible light.
Yeah, and I think that is very unbecoming, again, for him to make in those statements. And the people that surround him himself, we surrounded him that day.
Yeah,
it speaks a lot of who they are. What kind of mentality they think. Nobody reprimanded him for it and say we shouldn't say that.
Well, all these people
along with him.
They for years they've been afraid of him. They would not criticize anything that he says. They would not call him to task.
Call him out on it. Yeah.
If somebody was there, my face would turn up and I would be kicked out of the party because I would have to say something.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's funny. I haven't heard my good friend KB come out and lash out on that yet. But
KB's been really relatively quiet for the past couple of months.
However, I'll give me a take on the Prime Minister's mentioning about in the St. Lucia statement he made in St. Lucia. I heard Junior George comment on it. I heard a person make statements about it. And if you ever heard this statement that he made, but I listened to it last night. To me, I don't see a big deal about it. I don't know.
Listen, me either. And I guess why some people might be
offended by it.
Offended.
What is to be offended about? I mean, I don't see.
Well, everybody has their right to have their own reaction. So some people might be offended, some people. But listen,
hi Hudson, good morning.
The Prime Minister.
Yes, sir.
The Prime Minister, what's up, comrade? The Prime Minister is young. He's new to politics. So everything is coming at him. And I'm not making no excuses for him. He's a big boy. He can,
handle himself.
Yeah, he can handle himself. But it comes at you at 20 fire hose at full force. So he's going to make those mistakes. You have people, I mean, I don't want to, but you have politicians, seasoned politicians here in the US, in Canada, and all over the world, who often say things that are controversial, say things that we don't expect to hear from them. It may be a slip of the tongue, it may be a lapse in memory or judgment. Those things happen, but to make this big thing about it, I really didn't see it.
Yeah.
I got tagged in a post on it, right?
Mm.
My good friend, my good buddy, Doc Pancho Hudson, know him very well.
Yeah.
He tagged me in a post on it, but when my response, when I responded, they didn't publish my response. So,
They won't, because you're not supporting the narrative that they're going with.
yeah, but I was surprised. It was not his, even though if he wrote the post, he was part of a group. So I don't. He's not an admin on the group, so it was not his call whether to approve my comment. But if you're going to tag me, and you the admin, and you allow it to go through, then allow me to respond. But that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
But I want to say this, because a lot of times when our politicians make statements like that in a political arena, right? It shows your alliances or your support for that party one way or the other, right? Yeah. And whatever you say as a foreign diplomat giving a speech, it weighs a lot,
Yeah, of course.
From body looking in at a game from outside, always a better opinion how and where a player should be. Yes? And in that instance, the Prime Minister of Grenada made a statement that resonated with the party, right?
Yeah, it was a political event. It wasn't
a political event. And he made that statement. And he's like political pecan, like Hudson George would say, Yeah. And I don't see nothing else. Personally, I didn't see any need for the whole charade of trying to bash the Prime Minister for it.
It's the same 12 people. It's the same 12 people.
I don't see the need for it. However, excuse me. Good morning, Hudson George. Good morning, Louise. Happy Sabbath to you. Louise Noel Ambrose from Event to Be. Good morning to you. And Louise, if you dress properly, I want to show your face. I want to ask you something about your event coming up. However, welcome Hudson George to Gem FM.
Morning.
Caribbean Connection. Yeah, I heard you good. I have some links for you, but I won't give you here today. However, we're talking about political languages and things politicians say, and people like Dr. Pete Mitchell statement recently. Also, our present Prime Minister's statement he made in St. Lucia, and how that is resonating among the common folks in the political arena in Grenada and the Caribbean. People are making hay out of it. Some people, to me, when I read the comments on different forums, there are a lot of for and against. You can. It's a lot of people that say don't make no sense. Some people say why you want to say that, but they can't give you an answer why you shouldn't say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And some people make mention that Maurice Bishop wasn't born in Grenada, so what is his point? But Maurice Bishop lived in Grenada, wasn't going to live and raised in Grenada as well.
Listen, that's nonsense.
John Compton was born in Unison Joseph. I need you. And he grew up in Union Island or somewhere around there.
In the Comptons wasn't from Carriacou, I think.
Yeah, Union Island.
I think John Compton's father, according to what Labadie tell me, Labadie, I used to live in Sates.
Yeah.
Mr. Labadie told me John Compton's father is from Carriacou.
Okay.
But John Compton was born in Canawan. He's a Vinci.
Okay. Yes.
John Compton's brother was the magistrate that he sentenced a guy to jail in Victoria, and the guy hit him Alasha Clark.
He was in Sates one time too, right?
Yeah, he was the district, and when he said 3 months jail, the guy hit him bang in the head and knocked him down. I remember him when I was very young, but he had a reputation for being kind of. He was jailing people bad. Was he and Ginger? You remember Ginger from Antigua? Ginger was dark skinned like coals. Those days was GNP rule, and if you thief if you thief a hand of fig, they send you to jail.
Yes, yes, yes.
But the guy in Victoria, I think, was a Bajan. And
Mhm.
when Compton said 3 months jail, he just take the clock and the code, bang, he hit Compton. But
Okay.
Compton had a nice piece of land behind Tivoli School.
Okay.
As you pass Tivoli School, where Gary put the police station,
Yeah.
it used to be a place for agriculture. You want good breed of animal.
Okay.
We used to call it Frinis, so the place where you go and get good pig breed. There was a big bull pig there, a ram goat, ram sheep, nice quality bull, cattle for breeding. You get plants. We used to go there and get plants to plant tomatoes, plant this, that. We used to call it Frinis in local, but it's an agriculture center.
Yeah.
Now, as you cross Tivoli School, it's Conference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the other side of Tivoli School also is Conference. So Compton had a piece of land behind it.
Okay.
And he used to come in O'Callaghan shop on the same Conference side too, but we don't say Tivoli, close to Tivoli School, and get drinks.
Yeah.
And one day he drunk and he lost his glasses. So next morning, he come to the school, the headmaster call our assembly and say, if you get Mr. Compton glasses, children, bring it for him in the office. I don't know if them kids define it.
Yeah.
But he was more charismatic than his brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he looked like a guy if he go in politics. You know, Caribbean people like to look at people.
Yeah.
He had a catchy looks.
Yeah.
But he love rum.
Yeah.
And he loved land. He loved land.
I remember attending a case in Sates as a kid really, and where he was speaking in Latin.
Yeah.
And he sort of, I don't know if it was the OT was administering, but I remember he spoke in Latin, and then he asked the guy, "If do you know what I'm saying?" But the guy was a kind of, regular, kind of almost a derelict on the street, and surprisingly, he knew because his grandmother also spoke Latin, so he knew. So when Compton threw the Latin at him as a way of, I don't know, maybe of saying that he's a member of the elite, and the guy came back and answered him in Latin, everybody in the courthouse went,
because you see the old-time Grenadian could speak Creole and Latin and French come from Latin.
Yes,
that's what a lot of guys don't know.
Yeah, that was my early experience. But I remember when he used to order flogging. Hudson used to order flogging in
Compton and Ginger. He had one named Ginger from Antigua. Ginger was black too.
Okay, guys, let's get back. I like the historical part because this is a lot of history, and that's only Nigerian could get at it. You can get no other group in live. We're getting a conversation we have here, especially we have Hudson George. You're a historical thing, and Mr. Charles comes. But Hudson, I want to ask you, because of the statement that Prime Minister made in that political rally, what is your take on that statement?
Well, I tell you, out of a political side, I don't find the Prime Minister say anything bad. I told them that already. That's my opinion. Maybe he was a little bit raw.
Yeah.
But if you look at the social construct of Caribbean society and our history, Mr. Man, Miss Plentak bad manners. I tell all you how I feel.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us how you feel.
The jail in St. Lucia is full of black kids. Black man were there in jail in St. Lucia. I ain't seen nobody like Mr. Alan Shastner in jail in St. Lucia. Alan Shastner, really, they come from Martinique.
Yeah.
Right? The Caribbean people, if we want to build a good nation and be a good people, we have to learn to love ourselves. Eddie Grant tell you in a song. Eddie Grant is one of, they give Bob Marley all the ratings because of Rastafari and Selassie. But Eddie Grant is one of the greatest Caribbean intellectual singer. Not only a singer, the man is a smart man. Yeah. He said you have to learn to love yourself. Now, there is there is an elitist class in St. Lucia. St. Lucia have a history of like brown leaders. And it is a fact. There was a man named Hunt. Hunt and Judge and John Compton married two sisters. Julian Hunt.
Okay.
Julian Hunt used to play cricket for Windward Island.
I know that name, yeah. Mhm.
Julian Hunt used to play cricket for Windward Island. And I had St. Lucian friends. They tell me he have times. John Compton was need to vote it out, but they don't like Julian Hunt, how he look. He didn't good looking, and he looked kind of black.
Yeah.
He was a little bit light too, but he had this deep African features.
Yeah.
St. Lucian had this thing in them. Okay.
Hudson, I agree with you. I have a personal. Yeah.
John Compton brought Stevenson's King father from Conawan to work with him. As I told you, the Comptons really from Carriacou. But John Compton born in Vincy, Conawan. So he knew Stevenson King's father. So Stevenson King's father went and worked in St. Lucia with John Compton. Stevenson King was born in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Right? So, because the party have this colonial thing, they go and they get Chasney. And Chasney have money. Chasney buy out Stevenson King.
Yeah.
There was this black girl they call, she have a French name and she cut her hair low. When John Compton left, Stevenson King, they didn't want Stevenson King, then Chasney come with the money now. And they sold over the party for him.
His father was the one who orchestrated that.
They got money and he married to the richest family in St. Lucia, the de Boulez. They're the richest French Creole, one of the richest French Creole family in the island, the de Boulez.
Okay.
I will give you a story. Maybe God put me on earth for that. I walked one time in the place and I met a white St. Lucian man. The man he was not the owner, but he was on the charge of the job we were doing. So he was with boss, the manager. Somehow he picked up my Grenadian accent. You don't go to lose your accent. So I tell him I'm from Grenada. He tell me his wife is a St. Lucian lady. I didn't ask him if she's a white one or if she's a mulatto one or a black one. I didn't ask him. But every day I go to work, the man accustoming me because he tell me he live in St. Lucia already. And he tell me St. Lucia have a white, he call it a French Creole class.
Yeah.
He told me one of the rich de Boulez married to a white, he asked me if I know a family in Grenada called Wilcox. A lot of people don't know if you have a people in Grenada called Wilcox. They're white. I think one of them used to manage that we international airport once. They doesn't show themselves too much. And the man told me they related to, in British aristocrat people. He told me the Wilcox have a connection to a high circle British people from way back.
Yeah.
And he told me one of the de Boulez is married to a Wilcox in Grenada. I told him I know about it, but I tell him I'd never heard about the Wilcox before, and then I go and do my final. Yeah. And he told me, do you know that these people married one another from different places? Oh. They married come down. And he told me, even in Grenada, those in the south does go over there and marry. It's not only Indian doing, they have the thing. Yeah. Now, to keep the colonial class, they don't want Stevenson Kings. This is why Stevenson Kings go over to the SLP. And then you have Frederick, who is a loose cannon, a kind of gangster politician around, He's a lawyer, every island have their own kind of politics.
He's the DK Duncan of St. Lucia.
Yeah, but the thing is that maybe because Deacon is a young guy, the way he put it, What is true? St. Lucia have this.
So let me ask you something. The people who and the stand in the political arena in Grenada and some of the Caribbean making this statement that they can have to stay in the lane. You know,
because these young people don't have the maturity. I mean, okay, they might be popular when they go on the blog and so, but they don't have the experience what we have, and they don't talk to people like we. You see, the knowledge have to hand down from generation. Not all of them is like Unison, Joseph, or mix with us. They don't want to mix with us. These young people is on a hype. So they don't understand the social construct of Caribbean society.
Right.
So Dick might say it wrong, but he's sending a message that is also good for the St. Lucia people. Okay, do you know that? Go back and look at it. St. Lucia have a very strong educated class.
Yes.
But that St. Lucia have a high percentage of illiterate people still to compare with Grenada.
Yeah.
And that's the thing people don't know. You go have the Didi course
Jews
and them. Yes, you have that. And the only set of educated ones is more of the browner ones still. Now you have black ones in the mix.
Yeah, but that was a fact in the Caribbean.
Right,
yeah, but I'm just telling you how they're still behind us in terms of the transformation. And that is why one of the problem with Adlam, even though he was popular, he had to give up the SLP for Anthony because Anthony was mixed.
Yeah.
Anthony Fana also is a Bonnard from Matnick. But when I'm the Anthony man, the Anthony man, the mother is a Lucian, ordinary lady, make children for a French Creole Bonnard man.
Okay.
And Kenny Anthony is the only one who didn't take the surname. All the other brothers take it Bonnard. So but he keep his mother's surname. So he's a half French Creole man and half Lucian. I never see the mother. Maybe the mother is black.
Okay.
Because if you look at here, they mix. So St. Lucia because if you talk to Lucian, some of them don't happy with what is the guy? Philip Wadding and Philip Pierre?
Yeah.
I think he is too black. That Jamaica have a kind of politics out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they talk one time that Jamaica has two white folks leading.
But right now, the leader of the Jamaican PNP party, if you look at him, you could see he's a Jewish man, a Golden. He don't mix. He look like once you watch him, you see that Jew.
Yeah. But what's wrong with that? Okay, the Jew thing.
What I'm saying,
what?
We're dealing with how colonialism affecting us, and sometimes we mustn't go about picking people because of we want a guy. Furthermore, the guy who do the live against Deacon, he said that it's white people what feeding them. If you listen to him, which is nonsense, he's talking again too about if Shasney does live in St. Lucia most of the time, the money what's spending in St. Lucia is not black people money, it's St. Lucia money. Come on, you are educated man, you're talking nonsense like that.
In 2023.
22.
All right, so let's pause for our cause here. We have Unison Joseph who joined us and patiently listening. And we have the Miss Rachel Charles, all from London, England. I think she has a Grenada background. She's still in Grenada. She's back in London. However, she's been...
Everybody has an exotic background but me.
Yeah, except in you, And however, she's been voicing... I think she had made some comments to the same discussion we're having here this morning too on Junior George. And I wanted to get her in on that conversation as well. But before I go to her, go to Unison Joseph, I want to introduce yourself, Uni, and just give a little. You have some event coming up. Just mention that in your introduction. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Unison Joseph. Currently, the president of the Grenada Association Toronto, the president of the Grenada Disaster Preparedness, and also the president of Kadira. As John mentioned, that we have a few events. We have a Children's Christmas Bazaar coming up on the 9th of December. I know that clashes with John.
Yeah, you better be in my event, you know.
So I got to split myself into two. I have the red already, so I just need the black part. So,
All right.
yes. So, John, we're speaking about issue here in where the Prime Minister went to St. Lucia. And I remember a couple, maybe a month or two ago, we touched on that issue and it raised a few temperatures in the room where the pastor, the Goldie pastor was here. And we was talking about race and the skin color. Now, it's in terms of the Prime Minister going to St. Lucia and make that comment, I think is a issue that been simmering under the surface for a while, race and the complexion issue. If you look at the Grenadian context, when we look at our former prime ministers, you see Dr. Keith Mitchell and Sir Eric Machugiri, they were referred to as little black boys.
Yeah.
And we look at it and we see the lighter skinned ones are more put out there in historic context as more palatable. And even in our homes, the lighter kids get, preferential treatment. So it's not something new. It's a divisive issue that we don't want to face as a Caribbean people and as people with that complexion. Even within our own context, we still have the racial divide, or some might call it a class, a divide. So in terms of the Prime Minister going and make this statement, I think, in my personal view, when you bring a minister or somebody to speak on your platform, we're supposed to be mindful of the issues that is bubbling on the ground. So I think it's more a question of being inappropriate for the moment, but it's not something that we should shy away from and bring. Yeah, and then it brings to the question, who are we classifying as a national? We speak about national heroes in Grenada. And then that question should beg, should Julian Fedon be a national hero? He wasn't born in Grenada, right? And so now this issue is more complex as we just brushing it off to the side. Remember, Eric Machugiri was asked who was a Grenadian, and he says, even if your grandmother is a Grenadian, you are a Grenadian.
Yeah.
Then we have to look into the context of national heroes, that the Heroes Act that they want to pass. Who we classify as a hero? So, John, for instance, if you're in Toronto here, married to a white lady, and your kid born in Canada, and he becomes someone of a status, would he be classified as a Grenadian? So that is issues I think is much more deep, and it takes a bigger understanding and discussion to go. But we still have that.
But if you have a Grenadian parent, you can get a Grenadian passport. The child can't get a Grenadian passport.
It's in the law of Grenada.
It's in the law, but what I'm saying is that issue, that same issue that boiling in St. Lucia will come up again. The place of birth.
But Unison, the one with Shasner has no St. Lucian roots.
Well, they said that they said Shasner was born in Mustique.
No, Shasner people come from Martinique. He was not born.
Martinique, sorry.
No territory of. He's not from St. Lucia at all.
But he's a former prime minister already.
Well, yes, but that is what we discussed in how it.
But if you accept him 2 years ago, how could you deny him now?
Right now.
No, the point is, what are you hitting the prime minister for? He's saying it's like you importing a Caucasian man to rule your country.
Yeah.
I don't think Dick Mitchell mean that Shasner shouldn't be a prime minister. But he's looking at how the social construct of race and what we're doing in the Caribbean is like you're going back to colonialism.
But John, where was Shasner? But here's a question. Where was Shasner father born?
They came from Martinique.
No, but what is his roots? The father roots?
Martinique.
And the mother roots?
They're from Martinique. They're not Lucian. They go there to do business. But he wasn't born there either.
Well, my research tells a little better, but I'm willing to do a little dig.
No, they don't have no money. He married into a rich family in St. Lucia, the Diboles. You could look it up. One of the richest family in the
St. Lucia. All right, so let us switch gears to my patiently waiting friend Rachel Charles. Good afternoon or good night, wherever you are. I enjoy your background there a little bit. So the scenery in the back, feel like I should be there right now, but I still have mine looking as much as nice as yours. So I can't stay jealous of yours, can I be? But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm freezing cold in England at the moment, but I'm always in Grenada in my head, so I have to keep the background that way. I had to stay grounded. But I just realized how you set me up on coming here to talk about my prime minister. Okay.
Yes, we love it. We have the best picture and we like it, right?
I have to say I was disappointed. But I think we have to hold our leaders accountable whether we agree with their politics or not. And I think this is one time where I would say we would have to hold our leaders accountable. I don't know the whole background, and coming into the program now and listening to certain bits, I don't know anything about St. Lucia politics. However, when I heard it, I cringed because I found it really strange how a week or 2 weeks before we could be holding moments of silence for our hero, Maurice Bishop, who was not born in Grenada, and then hearing our prime minister go and talk about who's not born there. And then also it made me think about us in the diaspora. What does that mean for us? Where do you draw the line in terms of who can do what in Grenada? And one of the things that I always speak about sometimes is the reluctance to have us who are not living in Grenada on a consistent basis, because the prime minister spoke about, I could live in Canada too, if I wanted to. And I thought, okay, so for those of us who are living outside of Grenada, does that mean that we don't have as much of a foothold to do things in Grenada and we don't have a say? So, there's a lot, as I said, that I don't know about the background of St. Lucia, but that statement alone made me feel quite uncomfortable, especially considering some of the statements that were made last year in the lead up to our elections. Grenada is divided horribly along green and yellow lines. And I thought it was inappropriate to go into St. Lucia and then potentially cause the same kind of division or add to division when we're trying to bring people together in Grenada and cut down the party politics that's going on rather than focusing on one country. I heard it and I just thought, couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I heard it after the fact. After I heard Junior George and other persons making the rant about it, and I thought to myself, I didn't see a big deal about it from understanding the politics of St. Lucia. Myself, with limited knowledge on the politics of St. Lucia, what's going on there. What the Prime Minister said to me was something that is resonating among us as a people. And the fact that somebody from St. Lucia make the point that Maurice was born in St. Lucia, in Aruba, right? But they didn't understand how he was born there, but didn't live there. You understand? He came to Grenada and brought up in Grenada, went to England, studied, and come back and live in Grenada. He didn't go back to Aruba, and parent is Grenadian. So that too was, like I said, how does it feel for us in the diaspora going back to make contribution? But the Prime Minister of Grenada still asked for us to come home and make contribution. You have to remember that. He asked us to come and do business in Grenada as well. He didn't isolate us. Right?
I sat in a town hall meeting last week because he was over in the UK and heard it, but it still kind of made me feel like the two statements don't match.
Yeah, it's a political statement. I caught St. George, who is very much a historian in this whole political arena, was able to clarify a lot of stuff for us this morning.
But do you think it was a mistake or a slip of the tongue?
I don't think it. Oh, sorry, were you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't think it was a mistake because I think our Prime Minister would have done his research and know exactly what is happening in the arena he's stepping into. So I don't think it was. I don't think he would make that kind of.
He's
mistake.
usually very measured with his words.
Very.
Yes.
So one of the videos, when I saw it, the video was entitled "A Gaffe," and I thought, you can't call it a gaffe. It wasn't a mistake. He knows what he's walking into, and for whatever reason, he felt it was appropriate to make that statement. And maybe we need to sorry, go on.
Is it possible that his host wanted him to
mention
kind of
that.
stir up the ants nest a little bit?
Politics
I
101.
think our Prime Minister, how do I say this? I think he doesn't mind being a little bit controversial, and I don't mind a little bit of controversy as well. Sometimes we have to rock the boat to make things happen. So I'm not against that, but I think he knew it would have been tongue in cheek. He knew it would have been taken in a certain way, and he just thought, yeah, I'm gonna go there. So yeah, he didn't think don't go there. He went there.
He never go no there. I don't go there moment.
There was no don't go there moment. He was gonna go there.
Yeah.
And for whatever the reason, it would be interesting to hear the reasoning behind it. I don't know if we'll ever hear the reasoning behind it, but I think he would not have walked in there not knowing what the issues were on either side.
I think he understood the game. I think he understood the narrative, what happened on the ground in St. Lucia. He would have given us enough feedback and have the information that he need to use to stir up the controversy on the island and to create a divide, to know what you're voting for, who you're voting for. You know what you had before. So now here you can't go back to that situation again. Right? And so
That's
now
not familiar.
we'll go back to that again. I think the opposition party and our former Prime Minister are very close too, right? So again, that's sending a dagger into our homeland as well. No, we was there, we saw it, we feel that we're not going back there anymore. And I think that's the message, the general message I think they wanted to send home to the St. Lucian people. So to me, it's politics 101. That's how he plays.
But Rachel.
Hello.
You cannot. I'm telling you in Grenadian parlance. Don't draw Sharsness string with yours. You are Black British of Grenadian parents.
She born in Grenada too.
Is a Caucasian man.
Born in Grenada.
I think my parents lied, but yeah, no, I wasn't born in Grenada.
Okay.
What I'm saying, your situation cannot compare with Alan Sharsness. Your parents are Grenadian. Your chances of becoming the Prime Minister of Britain is very low. But you're talking about the island when you
Hudson, be careful. The British have a Hindu Prime Minister, you know.
Yeah. They were Hindu Prime Minister in England, you know. In England.
The closest they got to
born there, they didn't import him.
The closest they got to Brown was who we have now, Rishi Sunak, but we know that's not a real Prime Minister, but anyway.
I know you're gonna say it again, Rochelle. You know, you can say that again.
Well, no, I agree with you. Rachel. That's why he was forced to bring back Cameron this week, right?
What? Right, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
And
it's all pulling strings. All of it is pulling strings.
His wife.
You have to agree with all the hypocrisy of Britain and even Canada and them place. We know those countries are racist, but when internally, when they have to deal with the democratic process in Parliament, they always make look like it's real. But we know it's not real.
Did he go to Eton? Did he go to Eton?
Right. You go do it like he looking real. But in terms of the Caribbean, you importing a white man, he could buy a political party. The East Indian man didn't buy over his position in the British Conservative Red Tory Party. It happened that he was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, in that very statement you make in Hudson, George, there's something great I would tell you. The NDC was bought too, eh? So
there is different way you could buy something. And what is the purpose of buying?
Yeah, but if you're a local and you buy, that's a good thing, right?
You could buy your way.
You could buy, but you didn't put up the money to buy it.
No, it's what you buy it for. Okay, I can buy something for that purpose
Mm.
You could also buy it for other purpose.
Right.
What is happening in St. Lucia is a continuation of colonialism.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is why I know when Eric Gary made the first black girl, dark-skinned girl, be a carnival queen in Grenada. I'm not even talking about Jennifer Hostin because she was mixed.
Mm.
A black girl. And the black girl, you know, Gary had a thing. People used to go around and spray mosquito.
Yes.
The first black girl who win Miss Grenada Carnival Queen used to work with the Ministry of Health. Black girl, like this black lady on the thing. Nobody wasn't doing it.
Her name is Rachel Charles.
Yeah. What they were doing, you
I
go
think he knows me
Montmaurice.
well.
You go to Montmaurice. You go to Montmaurice and they get a Irish Grenadian from Montmaurice, they crown her.
Mm.
Then they might get a other local white from a other group. Until Gary make a black girl. And Uncle Gary, I remember when Trinidadian marching for Black Power. And Gary does that in a television. Gary addressed Grenada and he said, my people as usual. And he said, we don't need Black Power here because I give you Black Power already. Because when the Black Power leader in Trinidad, Granger,
yeah.
when he was under heat and they were behind him, he came to Grenada because his father is a Grenadian.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I think from St. David's, it was?
St. David.
St. David's, yeah.
Granger's father was Butler's right-hand man. Two of them, they who bring spiritual baptists to Trinidad. And they are the people who start black politics in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Mm.
You see, so when Granger was on the fire, he come home. But Uncle Gary sent him back. He had no other choice.
Oh, okay. So that leads me to that. We have two different conversations to have had this morning here, right? And the second part is to deal with the former Prime Minister's statement on the Bullerman issue. I don't know if Rachel heard that one and you listened to the Bullerman statement that is resonating around Grenadian people now. Some people had previous conversations about our Prime Minister being gay and whatever nonsense it is or whatever. They trying to make it. And now the former Prime Minister is coming out and making the statement to that magnitude, right? Definitely talk about it already. You listen, I want to give you Rachel first go. What do you think? What do you make of the Prime Minister's statement, making that statement?
Well,
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, ladies first. Sorry, Rachel.
Yes.
No, sorry. I thought you did say me.
You. I said you. Yeah.
Sorry. I thought it was disappointing for two reasons. Number one, we all, the lay people like us, and Hudson George, don't worry, I'll never be running for Prime Minister. That's not me. But the lay people like us, we're usually mindful if we're going to say something live. And there are some things you don't say because you want to, I commented on someone's post about pro-social modeling. The way that you behave, especially when you're in a position of power or have been in a position of power and still in a position of influence, you can still influence other people around you. And when people hear certain things, they think it's okay to use certain language and refer to certain people in certain ways. And so in that way, I thought it was inappropriate. And secondly, we also had the recent death of someone who brought a lot of attraction to Grenada from these so-called celebrities, putting up all these ransom money and that kind of thing. And I just thought, if Grenada is being labeled in a certain way, and then those who are in positions of power and positions of influence are referring to people in those ways, and it could add to the fuel of Grenada is a certain type of country with a certain type of mindset, then it kind of adds to that fuel. And I thought we didn't need it. So yeah, I thought it was inappropriate. I just thought it was quite sad, because as much as I don't agree with the politics and some of the things that happen, is as an individual, I think that individual could be a very nice person. And then at that point, I just thought, I'm done giving him chances now, because every time he opens his mouth, it just feels like it's something else, just inappropriate.
Do you think he should be called on to apologize to the Ghanaian public for that? Given the statement that
I
he made?
wonder what good it would do,
Mm,
because there just seems to be no boundaries.
Mhm.
Again, it's another instance, I think, of knowing exactly what you're doing. Whether he knew, the thing is, whether or not he knew it was going live, maybe not, but also just the fact that you're there and you feel it appropriate to speak about the former prime minister or anybody else in that manner, just to throw away that kind of remark about somebody. Maybe, I guess, as a matter of formality, I'm not too bothered about whether he apologizes or not, because I just think, you know, you're forcing somebody to apologize when they know exactly what they're doing. I don't see the point.
And this is not the first time he made that statement, right?
Yeah.
He
He's
made
not
that
going to
statement
do it.
before on a
This is
political
not the first-
platform.
this is
Yeah.
not the first time he has made that statement.
And
Yeah.
he making reference to two other occasions before that, I think, right? So he's well versed, he's well understanding what he's doing, what he's saying. I don't think is any mistake that he made the statement again. And
He repeatedly used that during the 2018 campaign.
yeah. So again,
And
so
he's not going to apologize. He's not the type.
not a type of person. Yeah. You listen.
I think my friend Rachel here has put it mildly. I think is a divisive and degrading statement to make. I mean, it's something that it says words matter. And when you in a position of influence, you have to be mindful of what you say when you say it, right? Because perception is reality. And it's correctly, and it goes back to being as a Caribbean people, how we feel about people of the LGBTQ. We have a lot of learning to do. We have a lot of steps to take. And just as how race is an issue, and it plays out in the Caribbean, regionalization is an issue also. So is the LGBTQ, and the former prime minister should apologize. It goes back to what are we saying? For the same issue you are speaking about derogatively, we in the diaspora is facing that same issue. And you are trying to say if someone from the LGBTQ community comes back, they are not welcome, you're going to chastise them because of the sexuality. So it is a statement that is very, I wouldn't say unfortunate, I say it's divisive, as it seeks to divide and degrade a Grenadian. Whether it is the former prime minister making it, anyone making those statements in these days is totally unacceptable. And we should hold them accountable for it.
All right. Hudson Judge.
Well, in politics, Grenada politics is dirty. We know that. And the opposition leader is a seasoned politician. He's no fool. He knows that the Jamaican influence is very. Whilst we killing our culture, we import a lot of Jamaican crap. For example, when growing up in Grenada, you cuss a man, you're telling me mother so-and-so, right? And maybe some people might fight for, don't go home, you cuss my mother so-and-so. Nowadays, you hear a man before you, two people talking now, they pick it up from the Jamaican, they call you a batty man, right? So in Jamaica, to call somebody a batty man doesn't necessarily mean the person is a batty man. It's to degrade them.
Yeah.
Now we take it in Grenada and we turn it in, and because we don't have custom with it, we don't know that language is to offend you in a different way. But in Jamaica, whether the person is that or not that, that is how they do it. And what Grenadians, I live in Canada here. What I observe with a lot of Grenadian people, Grenadian men, young ones, younger ones like 50 and down. Because we're from a small country, I notice you don't see the Barbadian community doing it, or even the Trinis up. But Grenadian want to just try to assimilate themselves into a Jamaican kind of thing sometimes.
Yeah. So
now the prime minister will realize in order to get the young people vote, you have to call the opponent a batty man.
I don't mean to cut you. I don't mean to cut you, but I think me and you disagree strongly on this view. The simple fact being, I remember when Ali Dowden, my friend Ali, that run in that, the former prime minister made statements alluding to that fact. When Tevin, I think he made same statement, right? In Carrick. This statement is directional. It's not a statement of, it's not a broad statement where it's pointed. The former prime minister doesn't they doesn't sit and make broad statement. This was a pointed. I just have to say I disagree with you. I agree with you a lot of things, but this one is with the Jamaican context and this context. I think the parallel I haven't connected it.
But what I'm saying is that the former prime minister, the reason why he's doing it, I think you missed my point, is to create a phobia to get the young people to come back to vote for his party. You understand what I'm trying to say?
But Hudson, wouldn't that be the opposite? Because the young people are more open to people.
Open to that.
I'm not saying it will work, but I'm just telling you, okay, let me go back into time. Long ago, if you're living in a neighborhood and somebody don't like you, they say you're making lugaroo. Right?
Your old man.
Why Harry making lugaroo is a lugaroo? It's just like there is villages in Africa. If they call you a witch, you abandon. So if you Kit Mitchell is 77 years old last week. So the way he thinks. So when he showed it at Ali Dowden, you say he tried with what Kevin and them, there's young guys. He showing the speaker and to see if he could gravitate so he could get the vote.
Because understanding too, Gilbert,
I think you're giving Keith too much credit on this.
No, it's not credit. To me, it's stupidness.
Well, yeah, but I think what we are seeing here with Dr. Mitchell is the personal disintegration of a man. He has nothing left to offer. So all we are going to see now is bitterness and anger and that kind of divisive
language. You say the same thing I'm saying. I'm just telling you what the strategy is trying to use, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but how would he's at least smart enough politically to know that the young people are not going to buy that.
No, it wouldn't work. There's a
hold on. Let me say something. He understands a large majority of the Ghanaian populace is still Catholic and Christian. Yes? He know what he's saying. So he know if he get those folks, they don't want to be led by.
Get it. Go ahead. Right. You get it.
You don't want to be led. They don't want to be led by a Batiman.
But John, John.
Hold on.
John, it's on the head.
The prime minister don't even care about the youth so much. He go after the church folks. They who make a significant impact within the church community. He know what he's doing, but he wouldn't succeed because understanding that the prime minister is well loved across the board in Grenada.
Another thing again, the Catholic Church spread out millions of dollars for covering sex scandals. Not millions of dollars. So I don't understand the Grenadian.
But guys, the Catholic Church is becoming extinct in Grenada. Come on.
It is coming extinct. But you do understand that why is the Catholic Church getting extinct? The fallout from the Catholic Church is resonating in Grenada. All right.
I don't think there's any Christian voting bloc in Grenada.
No, there is. Believe it or not.
I would say a lot, but there are still. There are still a few. But I won't say it's the majority.
But the statement made by the Prime Minister.
But remember, Hudson, you probably would know a little bit more about that. If that is true, then the sort of stalwarts of both the Catholic and the Episcopalian Church in Grenada came from the upper middle class, right? And they were all GNP. So how did that block shift?
No, the most Catholic in Grenada was not from the rich class, you know.
The Episcopalians one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I think is that the opposition leader,
Mhm.
you know, they say, oh, Blessy said he was kicking to get it from
Oh, Darren House.
Yeah, you see, politics is like music. When reggae music start losing its popularity
Mm.
to the other genre coming from Nigeria,
Mhm.
Afrobeat.
Mhm.
The reggae people who were singing out love and they want to go back to Africa, they show how ignorant they were too, because then you're singing about you want to go back to Africa, but then you get angry when Afrobeat
Music music coming
getting
into it.
popular.
Yeah.
You get the hypocrisy. So and again, it's a Grenadian thing too, because when I remember again, the former prime minister surprised me with that one too, because I remember during COVID was after Ivan and Emily, Grenada was in dire strait for money, and
LGBTQ. Yeah.
tourist boat came to Grenada,
Mm.
and then you had people that oppose it, and they say, oh, so under the NNP LGTBG boat with tourists came to Grenada. So then it's just politics.
It's politics. It's
And
politics.
those days Kit Mitchell was in power.
Then Hudson was life or death.
Brenda Wood,
Life or death is
right.
a
Brenda
drunken man's
Wood.
catching a straw. Yes.
It was a matter of survival.
Exactly.
Brenda Wood
Exactly.
was the Minister of Tourism. I told you, I have a good database in my head. You know? And I just retrieve it on them. Yeah. I don't
Let me
have
ask. I want to move to. We can't go get into the thing. I want to ask another question, and we'll come back to the thing. Rachel and but well, they'll answer the question already. But I know Unison often go to Grenada. Hudson does go momentarily, but I think Rachel between all of us here, I think Rachel visit Grenada more often. Rachel, before I ask you, do you carry a Grenadian passport or a British passport?
I've got my Grenadian passport. I have
Okay.
both, but yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question. When you go to Grenada, and do you enter the Grenadian passport or British passport?
Usually it's whichever one I pull first. If I haven't been there for a while, I wouldn't just rock up with my Grenadian passport. I feel, but yeah, whenever I think more so when I'm doing business within Grenada. Oh, you talk about Junior George's.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
what I really forget.
But it's funny you asked that, because when I was listening to Junior's segment, I thought, okay, it's a normal question. But then when he got closer to the end, then I could understand what he was saying, because he was saying when he comes to Canada, they say welcome home. In America, the first thing is welcome home. When you come back to the UK, it's all electronic, so you don't get welcome nothing, you just get cold. So I remember my mum, this was one of the, I think it was 1986 when we were coming back, and they asked her, what was your purpose for coming in? So it wasn't just, how long, what is your purpose? And my mom, I remember vividly her standing there going, I'm home. And it was just that, I am home. Why are you asking me? So, yeah, sorry, long answer to the question was, which one do I come? Yeah, whichever one I pull first, really.
Yeah. So would you be offended, like, if you ask how long you intend to stay in Grenada? Would that be offensive to you?
I find it a strange question.
Yes.
Because for me it's home, and I wish I could find my navel string wherever they put it in the UK and bury it in Coast Guard in Victoria, because for me that's home. I've been there since I was 3. For me, that is home. So I find it a very strange question to ask. I didn't buy my citizenship. I grew up in Grenada. That's home. To ask me how long I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do find it very strange. I answer the question because I can't be bothered.
That's it. That's about education. I actually got into a heated exchange with an immigration officer, and he asked me that, and asked me, like, where I'd be staying. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm from Chantemelle, you know. You want to come up there and look for me, you know. But I haven't really experienced that in other Caribbean islands that I've traveled to. I really have not. So I don't know what it is about us.
I usually don't get into it because I'm conscious that I'm not born in Grenada. As for me, through and through, cut me wherever, I'm Grenadian, but I'm very conscious I'm not, and I'm constantly reminded that I wasn't born there. So for me, I don't enter into the back and forth. If you want to go, I will just be polite and leave it alone. But I'm deeply offended whenever I go home and I'm asked how long.
Because one of the things, I mean, any immigration officer in any part of the world, if you buy a one-way ticket to anywhere, they will question your one-way ticket. Why a one-way ticket? Yes, whether I like it or not, they will question it. What's the motive for buying a one-way ticket? Any law enforcement,
not in Ghana.
No, well, not in Ghana.
I didn't experience that.
But it's a typical thing that immigration officer across the board will ask you. But let's say Ghana is the exception. If I buy a one-way ticket to the United States, they'll question me. Yes.
Yeah.
If you buy, and I think that
will ask you the purpose of your trip.
Yeah, and the junior judge, not faulting in many ways, the immigration officer at that table will question you why one-way tickets.
In most cases, some of them require that you have a return ticket.
Yes, and given the fact that he, and I mean, that person must have known who junior judge is. There is no doubt. Yes. He been in and out of Grenada all the time. This time he chose it's probably his first time with a one-way ticket, right? And somebody, you have house in Grenada, you have family in Grenada, everything in Grenada about junior judge. And you ask him that immigration officer could throw the books off the thing and send him back and that same flight he come with, right?
No, you can't.
Yes, but John,
citizen, you can't.
No. Guys, I think we're losing, and I don't think Grenadian immigration get a fair deal on that. I'll give you different scenarios. And is even in Canada immigration law, something I dabbled in for a few years. Now, you could buy a one-way ticket from here to Grenada, even in an expired Grenadian passport. On your re-entry into Canada, they will ask you, how did you get out of the country? If you is a Canadian citizen, because you don't have no record of you leaving the country. So I think when we travel with our foreign passports, like in my case, the question, when I enter Grenada with my Canadian passport. Simple, your Canadian passport will say place of birth, Grenada, and we have dual citizenship, right? If you enter Grenada with a one-way passport and my passport, I enter a one-way ticket Canadian, the immigration officer have all right to question you.
Yeah,
there is no.
But your passport is not stamped on an exit.
No. Your passport is stamped. It could be stamped both ways. It could stamp on an entry
when
and an exit.
When you take a flight from your country to go somewhere else.
Yes, you could be because when you leave Cuba, for instance, a U.S. citizen entering Cuba. That's why they request your passport don't be stamped when you live in Cuba because of the embargo.
It's not on the end. It's not on the exit. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but no. If a U.S. is going to Cuba on entrance, his passport could be stamped. But
upon exit as well.
If you're a Grenadian living in Grenada, your passport is not stamped on exit, or Canada, or the U.S.
Your passport is stamped. Look at it again.
Yes. No, it's not.
A lot of times the immigration officer wouldn't.
There's no immigration officer.
You remember Brian Lara situation?
No, you're wrong. There is no immigration
officer. Hold on,
this
is what I mean. This is what he's saying.
Brian Lara traveled to a country that the U.S. deemed as a hostile country. When he was traveling back to Trinidad, the U.S. denied him entry on his transition. Why?
Completely different scenario.
It's not because your passport is stamped. That's what they know where
his passport was stamped when he entered that country.
So wasn't he leaving the country?
There's no immigration when you exiting.
I think you're mixing up the whole thing. US have countries they call on terrorist watch.
Yeah.
Once you visit, and if you stamp when you go there, they see you as being suspicious. Oh, what you want to do there? So when we Canadians go to Cuba, the US don't know when Canadians go to Cuba.
Yeah.
Because the Canadian government your passport don't stop. That is the arrangement between Canada and Cuba is you visit with a card.
Yes.
You come back, next day you go in America, they don't know you've been to Cuba.
Exactly.
Right.
They don't know.
Or you make me go and run for my passport.
No, from Canada. They don't know. And next thing again too, what the Grenadian immigration is doing is wrong, because you have those of us who have two passports. One is you neutralize or naturalize, so we use the word, right? It's naturalized or neutralized. And one is by birth,
Yeah.
right? So when you go in Grenada, we have a Canadian passport saying we born in Grenada, although we have a Canadian passport.
Right.
So when you visit, the Grenadian immigration, they're supposed to ask you how long you're spending. They know by the law that you're born in Grenada.
Yeah.
They don't have to, but they would do it. They would do
In
it.
case of the young lady,
Mm.
they know the law that she's born in Britain, but she also is a Grenadian citizen. So they're not supposed to ask her when she leaving. That's not
So that's what I said.
Rachel,
It could be an issue of training.
Let me, yeah. Rachel,
They don't.
hold on. Let me chat to Rachel for a minute, Hudson. Rachel, what did your passport says?
You're talking about the stamps?
Yeah, this time.
So when I went the last time, I was with my son, so I didn't want to go in a different queue. So I used the British one and it was stamped on entry.
Mm.
But I'm going home pretty soon and I'm going to purposely pull out the Grenadian one and see what happens.
They don't supposed to do
Wait,
that
no.
because
No. We're not talking about the entry.
The exit.
Exit.
they're
No
not
stamps on
supposed to do
exit.
that.
Your passport is always
No
stamped
stamp on
entry.
exit.
On exit.
No stamp on exit.
There are no immigration in exit.
Right.
They check, they look at your passport, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
no stamp on exit.
Yeah.
You're just dealing with security and airline people.
They
Yeah.
did just write on it and say admitted until. So there's
Yeah.
like a time limit, but yeah, there's no.
No exit.
Okay. But the question, I mean, it is a situation there that with Junior George, right? Like I said, the immigration officer could throw the books away and do the unthinkable, right?
Let me,
I don't think
It
so.
could be
Let me
sued
play
for it. It
the
could sue
devil's
for it.
advocate. And just to, because there was something in there where they were saying, where do you live? And because it did kind of put a question in my mind, because I thought predominantly, if you look at 12 months of the year, where are you spending most of your time? And
Yes.
if you're spending most of your time in America or Canada or wherever you are, that kind of threw up a question for me. And I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but it threw up a question as to do they have a right? Because if you look at where do you live, where does your mail go to for the majority of the months of the year,
Mhm.
then clearly you're not really living in Grenada.
Yeah.
You're passing
Right.
through. So does that
Exactly,
mean
not
they
living
have
in
a
Grenada.
right to ask? Because for 7 months of the year, you might be outside of Grenada, the rest of it you're in. So
Yeah.
that kind of threw up something for me.
Yeah, I guess that's true because, like I said, he better leave most of his time in the United States. Even though he go Grenada frequently to visit, he is not staying more than a month in Grenada at
Right.
the time, right? Probably Carver sees to stay a month in Grenada.
Listen, that issue may have been somebody who just has a personal beef with him.
It could be.
I
Well,
was about to say that. Maybe
It will
somebody
be.
just.
But that's what I'm saying. Like a police officer there, but a police officer don't you read the rights? You read your rights when he pick you up. And it could be the cover of you. Is it allowed to beat you up if he doesn't have your driver's license? No, but he will do it, right? 'Cause he's in charge of the immigration before him right now. So it's same with the immigration officer. He could, without any seeking of advice from his supervisor, he put you in explain back out. You don't have to.
Not that easily. Not that
He
easily.
can't. He could have been sued if he do junior that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not that easy.
Yeah, as a citizen,
Maybe
he
he
could.
lose his job too.
He could do that, but then he could get him out.
He won't have a job next day.
He might not have a job, but he get a job out back out of the country. So see, there's a thin line, but it could be done. It could be done. It could be done. They
You
don't,
cannot, if he's a natural born citizen, you can't do that.
Doesn't
But
matter
people
which way. Once
violate-
you have
people violate laws.
document, they can't.
You violate laws.
But is it a law? Is it a law? Because there may just be questions. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
if it comes under law though. Because if you
No, they-
refuse to answer that question and you're a citizen, I don't think they can do anything.
They can't do
Because
nothing.
yeah, it's
But-
not unlawful to not, you know, you don't have to say how long you're gonna come home
Yeah.
to the country of your birth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to. But my point is, let's suppose like you know that person, like the Hudson Jolly said, have a personal grievance, right?
Yeah.
And they in charge of the day that they at that table, that entry point that they could deny you in entry. They
But
could
they
do
could
it.
lose their
I
job
don't think,
after that.
not that easily.
I
No,
don't
it
see
is-
that. I don't see that happening, John.
Yeah,
You don't see
You
what
would
I
have
mean?
to do something wrong, not just not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
you-
doesn't
And
contravene
even
anything.
if you did something wrong, then they would have the obligation, the option would be for them to detain you or
Yeah,
something.
detain you for, and they could do all of that.
To-
Listen,
John, the
but-
only way
I-
they could do that.
I have a personal story on this, right?
Mm,
I don't know if you remember when the West Indies team went to South Africa. The renegade players who went to
Yeah.
South Africa.
Packer, Kerry Packer.
No, it was in
Yeah.
Australia.
No,
Oh,
Kerry
sorry,
Packer was-
sorry. Go ahead, you're right.
South
You're right.
yeah.
Mm.
And what's his name? Shane Julian was part of that contingent.
Okay. Mm.
And the revolution took the decision that he would be declared personal.
No,
non
no,
grata.
Shane Julian didn't go to South Africa.
No. He was part of the team.
No, he wasn't. He didn't.
Hold on, Hudson. I'm giving you a personal thing there. Shane Julian was named as part of the team to go. Okay.
Okay.
And he came to Grenada between the time the team was supposed to travel and between the time the team was to travel to South Africa, he came to Grenada. And the government took a decision that if he go, he will not be allowed back in Grenada. And I was sent to deliver the message to him personally in my capacity as Deputy Director of Youth and Sports. And I was very young. I didn't even have a full understanding of what the law, let's put it that way.
Mm.
Okay. But I delivered the message, and I delivered it in tough fashion to let him know, bro, you know, if you make that trip, you will never be able to land foot in Grenada again. But that was illegal.
Mhm. But so
What I
that's
did
my
was
point.
illegal.
So that's my point again I'm making. So that immigration officer could make that call and could do it. But
Yeah,
it's a-
but the difference, John, is that he was that was a sort of forewarning, you know. So he would have had option. But if you're a natural born citizen,
Mm.
to just declare you unwanted in your country, that's a tall order.
Yes, but we see, and that's what power is. When you have power in your hand, at that desk, they could.
And that is not power. That's stupidness. If they
But-
Exactly, Hudson, exactly.
Power is.
Because
That
yeah.
person has the power to do what they want to do for their desk.
Hudson, you're absolutely right. Because years later,
You gotta be
I'm
stupid.
reflecting on it, and I was like, damn, why did I, you know, I don't know if I had a choice anyway, because
You don't have no choice there, but you
I
can
was just
order.
told,
But
but you know, I reflected on it and I knew it was a stupid thing that I did. And of
the
course,
Grenada government
Mhm.
could have banned Shane Julian for representing Grenada in international sports if he had gone
Yeah.
to South.
Yeah,
Exactly.
All of them who went were banned.
yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
remember,
And in other parts of the region too.
they were banned. And I remember Colin Croft said
Derek
he
Moore,
was sorry.
David Murray, Sylvester
Lawrence
Stewart.
Rowe, they begged pardon after.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, they begged
Yeah.
pardon.
They was following the money.
Stupid.
Yeah, I know it's politics 101, and all these things happen in politics and sports. But in general, I mean, let me ask. I know Hudson, that going straight to you on this one because you have said on this show on many occasions that you would not condemn the government in Grenada that early. I wouldn't make any critical judgment against them. Now we passed 18 months into this government. What is your take now on this political arena in Grenada?
But I don't find anything. I mean, I told all you I don't support October 19th, right? But apart from the October 19th, I don't really see anything wrong with the new government so far. You know, I mean, it's not perfect, and it's young people. I would like to see they talk to people who are older than them a little bit more. And the Prime Minister does go. Did the Prime Minister what is easy? Besides Gary was a guy who used to go everywhere in Grenada. He was a local man. Kit Mitchell was local until he defeated the NDC in 2013. He gone back, he tongue a tongue man again.
Yeah.
That is what bring him down. He forget the countryman from 2013 till he come down, he gone back south. But before he used to come. So the Prime Minister is connecting, and I don't against the Prime Minister. And as I said, in the St. Lucia situation, I think what he did was, in Grenadian parlance, we say plain talk, bad manners, and what he said is not wrong. I don't see how he could be wrong. And
well, Hudson, it might have been appropriate on the block, but when you
right, okay, but he sent the message.
So when you Prime Minister 24/7, okay? So there isn't any point in time when you're not being Prime Minister. So
well, maybe you was bad cop that day. You had to play bad.
Whatever you say is going to be recorded. Whatever you say is going to be analyzed.
How much of us on that blog here?
Right.
But listen, Hudson.
We know what is racism. We know what is colorism. We have to kill that thing.
And that problem is real, right? I mean, I remember many years ago going to St. Lucia with somebody I was in a relationship, and she was very, very light skinned, and everything was supposed to be fine. And then when I got there, you know, she was really afraid to introduce me to her parents.
Because maybe the father is the brown man and not prejudicial. It's not the women.
But it said that more light-skinned women, like the Dr. Chucky belly taste, right?
If you want to know how racist some brown-skinned men are, they want to sleep with all the pretty black girls. Get them pregnant. 8 out of 10 times they wouldn't marry to them. But you as a dark-skinned guy, go and get a sister pregnant. Behind your back, they want to kill you.
Hudson, they used to say that for a black girl, you're really pretty, right?
Yeah, what they mean by that? What they mean by that?
And ignoring all the natural beauty of our sisters, right?
Our sisters, yes.
It's like I watch them Jamaican Rastas. I follow that group, Magan Heritage.
Yeah.
They're singing about Ethiopia 24/7. One of them go do DNA, he's 52% Ga. Ga, a tribe from Ghana.
Okay.
He goes to the Ga king to anoint him because most of his DNA is from the Ga tribe. And the rest of the tribe is all Ghana area. But he's still talking Selassie. What is the connection? It's an obsession because the Ethiopian look mixed.
Well, environment,
nonsense.
Environment and culture also have
like,
you know,
like the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Going to Ghana to live, but the chanting Selassie. That's where we're from. We bunch of West Africans.
Selassie is king of Africa.
We are largely West Africans.
Okay.
Ethiopians are related to people from Yemen.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go.
Or is it the other way, Hudson?
Hold on.
Because the Ethiopian civilization was earlier.
Well, they chase us out. We were the original, but we're not there again.
Okay. We'll go back. That's another sort of conversation next week. I want to talk about that because a lot of things that is being said and being done haven't been touched, and a lot of people free to talk about the whole thing going on in that region. However, Rachel, what is your take on the present construct? I mean, the political, the government itself, and the 18 months and beyond. What is your take on that?
I think it's too early to say, but I can't see anything negative at the moment. They're not going to get everything right, but there's decades of stuff that's already in motion, and you can't just come in with a magic wand and then the next day everything's going to be okay. I think if you look at some of the things that have been implemented over the past 18 months, you'd be hard pressed to say that it's been negative. Not everything, like I said, not everybody's going to agree with everything. Not everything you might be able to see sense on, but I think the majority of things that have been done has made a positive impact. But I still think it's a little bit too early to cast any kind of judgment. But I'd say it's in a positive arena at the moment.
Unison. What do you take?
Well, I will agree with Rachel. I mean, 5 years, even 5 years for a new administration is kind of a short lifespan, right? So you don't really expect to see, but some little some tangible things, you know, for instance, the part with agriculture. I like to see more emphasis being placed in agriculture. I for the fishing industry, the cocoa and nutmeg, you know, although those prices have been dropped on the world market, but there's added value things I like to see, you know, going forward. But if it's a slight knock on them, I think they should have more press conferences, more information session, being more available to the media. Because you see, lack of information leads to interpretation. So I think that is something that they need to work on. But I think 18 months for a government is a little bit, you know, it's a short lifespan. Even 5 years, your first term. So I think it's feasible after, you know, a 4 years, you could really, you know, start, you know, passing judgment.
Before I go to the for last, I want to show you this one inside this bucket here. There's this notion that the prime minister they travel too much. They keep traveling, and then the gala all over the place. I hear it all the time on Facebook, guys. If you read this stuff, and they always say the same 12 people making that kind of comment,
12 people.
Right? So let me ask you again, because I know it seems to be people don't understand that most of the gala is not paid by the Guyana government for the gala, right? Is the host carry all the expense, and the host country provide the security. So it's not done to the Guyana government. What do you say to folks? And I'm going to go to Delbert first and go back down the line. What do you say to folks who continue to complain about too much traveling, too much they're not attending to the constituency? Like, for example, St. Patrick's Northwest and Northeast is coming under serious fire for absenteeism. How do you answer that?
So I mean, the Chantemel just in me would just say, shut up and sit down, because there has not been no marked increase in travel by the government, and the data would show that. But here's the thing, okay? If you're a new government, and this is a new young government, anybody in the cabinet had been in a cabinet position before, ministerial position. You can do phone calls, you can do Zoom, you can.
Okay. Then we'll get cut out there. So, Unison, pick up from there.
Okay. In terms of that's why I said lack of
your counterparts in government. So the travel is mandatory. It is important that the prime minister. One of the main role of the prime minister is to present Grenada in a very positive light to the outside world, and he's doing that. And he's doing that in his speeches, and certainly when he travels. The problem we have with people in a constituent feeling neglected, it's a real one, right? But the problem is bigger than just that individual. It is our system of government. Because when you become foreign minister, my friend who is the foreign minister, he's not foreign minister for St. Patrick's West. He's the foreign minister for the entire country. And that's an enormous responsibility. So a lot of times even when he's in the island, he's visiting diplomats, visiting delegation. And since he's traveling a lot, it means that his constituency is going to suffer. So he has to work out a solution for that. Similarly, with the other St. Patrick, because Crown City people, we very demanding, and we know our politics. He went from one demanding portfolio to another more even demanding. So as finance minister, you 24/7 looking at the books, where you're going to move this penny to this, 5 cents here to 10 cents there, because we're dealing with finite resources. So what these two gentlemen in particular, because there have been some criticism directed at them, they have to appoint a key person in their constituent, somebody well-known, somebody well-respected, and I couldn't care whether the person is NNP or NDC, to manage the affairs of the constituents in such a way that people feel that, okay, Minister Handel I didn't get an opportunity to speak to Minister Handel, but John is his representative, and John has been good. John carries the message, and we're seeing results. And I think when they're able to do that, probably, I know efforts are happening in both constituencies now to find this kind of people to carry out the work for them. We'll see, but we have to understand that when you become minister, you're no longer just that. Even though if I subscribe to the thing that all politics is local, I understand that there's a greater, responsibility. In terms of where the government has been, I mean, I've been very vocal on this. We've had no major personal scandals. We've had no major mismanagement in government, okay? We have had no wholesale firing or political victimization of people. So I don't know what the criticism could be. And you have to welcome criticism. Criticism makes you better when you're in public eye. Unemployment is down from 29.2% to 12% in 18 months. That is a remarkable. Even a major Western industrialized country would have loved to cut unemployment by more than half in 18 months. It does not happen. So that's a remarkable thing. And that may have come from the deep, the payouts in the pension early, that some smaller people who were in business, who had sort of retired from government, now got that money, and maybe they reinvested in their business and was able to hire people. But I mean, that's a major accomplishment. So when you look at the positives and whatever negatives anyone wants to come up with, it just far outweighs it, Yeah. And my only criticism of the government so far is that, and I don't know if it's really a criticism, but my advice is that I want to see the Prime Minister in 2024 begin to speak to our people more about the importance of us becoming more united. That because you cannot transform Grenada with just 50+1 or 52 or 53%. You need greater numbers. And I think our people, I've never met a Grenadian who didn't love their country. I've never met a Grenadian who didn't love that piece of real estate, right? So we have that commitment to country. So I think if he can begin in 2024 to speak more to that, what brings us together, what unites us, what would make us more prosperous, what would increase, our level of participation in the democracy, and by extension, improving our humanity to each other, then that would be golden for me. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Before I go to Unison, I want to plug something in here. You start answering that. Do you think people, because they consider this administration a young administration, right? And they go back to the PRG young administration, they think they should expect the same level of productivity as the young revolutionaries did? Do you listen? And so you answer that, and you're reaching at the government at this present time.
So it's very interesting. because when the new administration came in, they focused on the PRG period as being a period of transformation and embrace that period. So the parallel will be drawn to that period also and hold them into that light. But I think the circumstances and the environmental impacts is significantly different from the period. So that environmental factor will impact how you govern. And Delbert touched on something, and it goes back to information. If you look at the revolutionary period, there were information sessions in pocket meetings, giving information, telling people what the intention are, what they're going. I do want to see the government when it comes back from trips. They cannot tell you everything that it did on that trip, but have a synopsis. Tell people when people don't know, and from past experience, we always draw from our past experience, whether it is relationship, whether it is past hurt, past pains, we draw from that. So if before we heard about passport selling, we heard about different things happening in different countries. So when you go and you don't come back with the information, they draw well, you're doing the same thing too. So the lack of information, we have to, when we come back, give the people something. Tell them, we went to Dubai and we're going to put the CBI program, we're going to invest in a road in this community, we're looking for funding. So the neglect, and as Delbert touched on it, you have to have the leader, whether you do good, when you do good, the empire looks good. When you do bad, the empire looks bad. When you run a company, most of the time the CEO don't know what happened. So is the employees or the flow that brings out the company. So if you are absent and your people around you is doing nefarious things, it ultimately comes back to you. So you have to have a strong team around you and listen, as Hudson always says, listen to the people that have been there in our situation. So going forward, the traveling and everything like that, I mean, if you're going out for businesses and you're getting things done, I don't see no problem in that. But tell us something.
So the parallel that has been drawn, and I want to go straight to Hudson this one, because I heard him on his live this week. Don't listen to those revolutionary people. They don't know about democracy. And how could they be advising you guys on democracy? I want to, before Hudson answer this one, I want to remind Hudson that the 1976 election, the NGM participated in that. They fully aware of democracy. A matter of fact, Bonaco traveled to England for the handing over and adding stuff into the constitution to Grenada as well. So they're very much entrenched in democracy. It's not that they don't like democracy, or they don't part of democracy. They want to do that different way. So when you say that don't take advice from these people and them, this revolutionary and they don't know democracy, what message you trying to convey to the Grenadian population?
I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm very glad you asked me that question. I said, don't take too much advice. Much advice. TWO. From my revolutionaries.
Why?
Into my work. Now, for example,
why?
Last live I did with you, Raphael, my parishman Delbert. I told and Mr. Unison Joseph, I told all you, it's October 19th. I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm glad I come here. All you are raising a can of worm and all you don't want to listen. You guys what caused Kit Mitchell and them was looking to find, now if you don't have no fish in the river, fisherman can't hold fish. Now, if a fish only keep the mouth shut, who can take it? Right? Kit Mitchell comes out now. I was waiting to see if you go come with that. No, they're planning to boycott the budget. And they had press conference, which I think was nonsense. Now, the October 19th, you guys give them grease to come out because they're looking for a little controversy, where because they're looking for mileage, right?
But
Now
though.
is you guys have to watch. You're dealing with a system that have to go back to the poll every 5 years. It's not indefinitely. So you have to tread quietly. Right now, I don't need the NDC to add you. I say give them a chance. But sometimes you got to go slowly. You're dealing with two different political
but Hudson,
culture where one have to report to the people every 5 years and one don't have to.
but hold on.
People vote for the NDC for various reasons. There was one lady on Facebook. She was saying she don't like October 19th. She wanted to go and see the PM when he come to England. But maybe she wouldn't go because she pissed off. And I was telling her, man, still go. Then I see the lady and the PM hug up. Because something, you have to be diplomatic in politics. You can't just rush in things. Sometimes it's not every time you have to raise a dead man from the grave. You're dead and I know you hide the money and come with the bad book and raise you up and talk to you. But there's times I have to leave you in the grave. You know, I can't bring you out every time.
But do you think, and anybody could answer this one, do you think that Akron will be an election issue or housing will be an election issue?
It won't be an election issue, but
it's not even an issue now. It's dead.
It's dead already.
Don't give your opponent any little grease to come out to fry. You're looking for a zangi to fry. Zangi, you know zangi fish in the river?
But listen.
So now is not the time. We don't have to.
But Hudson, the divide on that was not across current political lines.
No.
Because there have been many former, and I'm saying that in quotes, former revolutionaries who became members of the NNP.
Well, you're raising our next thing again.
So the lines are not as clearly drawn.
Right, that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you listen to Justin Francis Pierre, the brother NNP is preaching. Is NNP gold?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you have Peter David in the NNP. And I was questioning now. If Peter suffers as the leader, Francis Pierre might be able, he and Peter want to see eye to eye, and then where he's going to take his group to? He's going to come and join the NDC?
No.
I don't think so.
No, what I'm trying
to... That's wishful thinking.
Hudson, that's why I say that NNP faces a critical situation moving forward. And I suspect that the reason that they are constantly sniping with these really non-issues at the administration is that they are doing their best to deflect from the internal chaos that's happening within the party. So their problem is whether or not they survive intact by the next constitutional.
NNP is stagnant, right? You know, back home you use the word, I don't know, you guys know that word. When they say you're bomb prime, you know that word? You're bomb prime.
Yes.
You remember that word? Okay, you're star, you're bomb prime, right?
Yeah.
So you need a booster.
Yeah.
Right? A man passing a bit, but he said, boy, my battery dead, boy, pour some coconut water in it. Or give me a kickstart, right?
So are you suggesting, Hudson, that the NDC is providing a boost for it to resuscitate?
Don't give them a boost. I didn't say that. They need a boost. Don't give them a boost.
Hudson, they served up a freebie.
Yeah. So what the NNP do to go back to the mechanic scrapyard and put a new piston and some, different political parts.
But the chassis is going to be 80 years old.
The chassis is old and you're going. So when you want to revive it,
listen,
time in the politics.
Both of my parents lived to be their mid-90s, and my mother was as sharp as a tack on, up to the very. So I don't want to be accused of ageism, okay?
Because he was a good Toyota car.
You will see value until
Yes. My politics. in Canada, they say something don't spoil, don't fix it.
Yes, yeah.
If it ain't broke,
Don't-
don't fix it.
Don't
Don't
begin to fix it.
keep- I was listening to the NNP had a press conference the other day.
Mm.
And I was saying it's nonsense. The MP for St. Mark,
Mm.
Mm.
how many years she in government? 30 years?
Yeah.
About
What
Okay.
have she done for St. Mark?
Like they would always say, if Christopher Columbus today, he must identify St. Mark's, right?
St. Mark is, yeah, it's like Dominica. What have
Yeah.
she done for 30 years?
Mm. But let me
so,
something else. You have
I
only-
can't criticize her because I have a little bit of a personal
But she
history.
should be planning for
She
her
is-
to go now. Let somebody
she
else
is-
come with a different idea. That's my opinion.
She used to tutor me when I struggled in chemistry, so I have
Mother,
to show my
Yeah, stop,
gratefulness.
it's a
Forward
bad
there, but-
person, but somebody else might come and deliver.
Hold on, guys. I only have 5 minutes left. I want to go to Rachel because Rachel is she does
Help me here, Rachel. Your professional work.
Which one? So I'm in probation, so I'm the qualities manager for London probation. But I'm also a life coach and mindset.
Life coach.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Given your business grader in recent times, right? As a life coach, what are some of the things you think grader and probably various people encounter in different businesses that you go to in grader? What are some of the things that you think grader needed right now from a ground level up to become more of a more service-oriented society?
I think it's some of the things that people who are living there themselves are calling out for. There's always a complaint about customer services. There's always a complaint about, who makes the rules and regulations. And I think it kind of goes back to the passport issue. Are certain questions relevant? Is there a blanket policy, or are there procedures that certain people who are in the same field know what the procedures are? So I think it will be that. So it's looking at what policies are already there. Where are the gaps? Do they fit with Grenada? Because a lot of the things, it's like a two-tier kind of system as well, because you have the English background or the British background of some of the things that have been implemented, and they don't fit with Grenadian society as well.
Mhm.
So it's I would say, what are some of the things I would say? Yeah, maybe to make it run properly, policies, procedures, and having an ongoing, maybe in-house training, bringing people in to look at how do you do things. There's a lot of, I speak to people who run businesses and there aren't any, when you go into work and you have like the manual of this is what you do if you call in sick, this is what you do, this is your holiday, this is what's there. And I think because that isn't there as well, there's a lot of people who are in positions of power who can abuse that, because a lot of people don't know their rights, or there may not be proper rights.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does feel like there needs to be a little bit of an overhaul, a bit in terms of businesses and how we're behaving, but it starts from the top as well.
I couldn't agree more, because I think we have the worst customer service in the Caribbean, period. I mean, I've been fortunate to travel the Caribbean and beyond, and I am floored by the level of service that businesses in Grenada offer. But I think the point that you make, there isn't a larger point to it, right? When it comes to people not knowing what the rules of the road are. Because in the last decade or so in Grenada, there's this really close intersection between the political power center and the business center, that they sort of created their own set of rules, and they didn't really care how much it affected, those who did not have access to the corridors of power. And that is dangerous. That is dangerous because I think it was Baldwin who said that, when a man has nothing to lose, that's when he becomes dangerous, And it's something that's happening in the Western world anyway, because with the rate of income inequality, more and more people are getting left behind, and at some point in time, they're not gonna take that any longer. You can't keep disenfranchising generations after generations after generations and think that people are going to continue to be happy. So we definitely have a training problem, and I think we but here's the thing, right? Grenadians in the diaspora, we possess those skills and we are actually very, very good at it. So what it says is that the government and business in particular has to find these new avenues to expose our population to that sort of a quality of life and to improve their quality of life, but also improving the quality of participation and communication in the workplace, both in the private and in the public sector. Yesterday, I saw somebody posted on Facebook, actually asked that question, John, and the guy said that, if it's 2:33 p.m. in Grenada, you literally cannot get a public servant to do anything for you.
Yeah.
Well, it happened here too, eh? Once here, 5 to 3. 5 to 3, so we half past 3. Guys walking out from the desk to the
Don't
washroom.
talk to me after 12 on a Friday.
That part is across the board for every nation. I'm telling you, there's this situation I know of. This guy is supposed to leave 5 o'clock. 4:30, he started walking from his desk to the washroom. And he sits in there for 15 to 20 minutes, right? And so he get pulled up all the time for it until the boss don't like him, right? But boss say, you owe me half an hour. So a lot of people does that. 10, 15 minutes before the time to go, they leave the desk, clean up the desk, pack up, and they're ready to walk away. They're going to stop in front of the clock for 5 minutes. I see it happen. They stop in front of the clock there, but 10, 15 minutes, I'm walking up, guys, and I say, what are you doing? I'm waiting for the clock. What time is it now? 4:45, you're doing 5, 4:45.
But what time they start?
But again, we should have rules, right? We should have rules.
But the rules are not written.
There's a little bit give and take as well, because and maybe I give I think I give Grenadians sometimes the benefit of the doubt, because I remember when I was there last, I was trying to get the insurance back on my dad's car, and I went to the place it was last, and it was probably about minutes to 1, so maybe it was my fault for coming so close to lunch. But she said, it's going to take about 2 hours to put the insurance back on the car. And I thought, you have to press some buttons on the computer. I didn't know how it was going to take 2 hours. But then also, and I'm just going to lunch. So I thought, okay, so now you're telling me it's 3 hours. So I left and I went somewhere else and I got it done. But I think I've kind of learned now that things move at a different pace.
Yeah.
I'm not getting mad if I stand up in a line and people, I'm doing a lot of deep breathing. And I don't know, there are things that need to change, but I also think there needs to be a merging of how we do things, because I do think as well that living outside of Grenada, we've adopted this culture of rush and multitasking, yes, which is not healthy as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And home, there is that kind of, I guess, a laid back pace for some people as well. And we have to find that healthy balance.
Yeah.
Great.
And even in the United States, depending on which part of the US you are. I remember the first time I visited California, I was like, okay, I cannot live here, because having become accustomed to the New York lifestyle, go. In LA, everybody was just chilling. And I'm like, I can't. And then I realized, hey, you need to make the adjustment. You're in a different coast. People here see life differently. They take it much a slower pace. And you just adjusted and to your situation. But we have to find a happy balance in Grenada, some hybrid solution, because there's just some of the things that I'm spoiled, so I call friends that I know in good places, so I never have to wait in line. But it would frustrate me. Terribly.
Yeah.
There was something that was said in our town hall meeting because I asked the question, but it was to do with an issue in Grenada that I raised. And I said, you know, what is the government doing about it? But then I also said that there's many of us, like I think you were saying, John, that we possess those skills and experience and we want to come and help. And I'm very conscious as well that obviously you don't want to go there and impose, but it's just to add in where you see the gaps, because there are systems there already. So it's not trying to replace anything. It's just saying, where are the gaps? Let's add them in. And what was said, and the Prime Minister was talking about, they also have to know that there is a problem.
Yeah.
So when you're coming in and saying, we need this and this needs to change, if they don't see it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's looking at how do you help someone, I don't know, maybe it's how do you tell an addict they're an addict?
Yeah.
That, you know, so they have
Offending
to
them,
know
yeah.
that there is something that needs changing, because if it didn't work for them, then they would change it. So, you know.
But it's a real problem, because I remember in 2000, I think it was 11, I was part of a group that went to Grenada when things started to sort of unravel with the government, and we were trying to help them. And we were basically invited to come in, and when they thinking we knew it all, and we had white papers and everything, you know. And I remember doing a presentation, and I'm expecting to get some deep questions, and somebody who I knew and I consider to be a very good deep thinker, he got up and he said, boy, so when you live in Grenada again?
Time to get your time expired, time to leave.
I was like, that's it, I'm done.
Oh,
Let me
my.
enjoy the beach. Let me enjoy the beach, because he did not hear anything I say. My paper was irrelevant.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have no effect here, so let me enjoy my 2 weeks in Grenada.
But you know that same topic you're speaking about. I remember the IMO, in the organization of, I heard Terry, the new ambassador. The IMO had spent almost $2 million US on doing a mapping of the diaspora for Grenada. They modeled it of Israel, and there was a Jamaican professor, Dr. Lee, I think his name was. I could subject to change on that. But they did a deep mapping of the diaspora with skill sets and different avenues. I heard Terry said that he's going to, the ambassador said that they're looking into it and going back. The IMO is going to spend another set of money to map the diaspora. The issue is, and it goes back to the first question and the first topic we had, how inclusive is the Grenadians receptive of the diaspora coming to offer the services? And what is what is going to look like? Are we looking at children from people that born out here? What the reception are, you know? So it is a whole, you got to be careful how you interject that mix, because as you said, your welcome might be as short as your entry.
Yes, yes.
So it's something that they got to sit down.
Well, guys, I am pressed for time. I'll go way beyond my time here now. But I appreciate all of you. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege to be here with you and having Rachel join us this morning. And I invite you to come on, you know, on a Sunday morning. So keep that link handy, Rachel. You're welcome to join us every Saturday morning the discussion is not on anything that you can be part of. You're welcome, because I'm accused of not having women on my shows as often as I have women on my shows. Yeah, but when I ask women to come, some of them who talk a lot on Facebook, they don't come. Because now there's some face to some of them face there, but
keyboard warriors. Keyboard warriors. You know?
And some other hardcore politician people ask them to come on here.
And Hudson, you are correct. Us revolutionaries, we don't believe in democracy.
I was about to say,
I gave up.
I agree with Hudson.
I gave up on democracy a long time
I give up. I believe in Hudson.
You don't believe in democracy. Okay.
You believe in Westminster democracy.
You don't believe in Westminster democracy. What I'm saying to you is,
I don't believe in democracy, period. I believe in meritocracy.
The point is that you cannot have moose in Grenada and armadillo, what we call tattoo, in Canada, Appalachian Mountain.
Okay.
It's two different things. So
okay.
if you take a moose to live in Grenada, a moose can live in Grenada. So you have different political.
He might survive in Granatang, man.
Yeah, you have different political system. So when what government have to always keep in mind in our type of democracy, you have to go back to the people. And that is where Kit Mitchell lost the last election. And he's still angry. You had almost
Still
$1 billion dollars in your treasury, and you say you can't pay the civil servants the money. And then a new government come and they find the money and they pay. So there's things, when you know you want to go back in 5 years, you have to have a program for your 5 years. It's like if you doesn't drive and you have to go and pick up a bus in the morning to go to work, you have to be at the bus stop 10 minutes before the bus comes, because he might run through some green light and you need me to at a red light, right? And you say, shit, I missed the bus. But if it's a different system, it's a different system. You have to live to suit your system.
Yeah. But
that's my opinion about it.
Okay, fine. But how do you square that? So since 2013 until 2022, you had a government that was in their 15th kneel, right? Yeah. But you had about 42% of the population voting for NDC.
Yeah. Well,
they had no representation in parliament.
That is what I'm saying. But what happened in 2000?
So how is that democracy? So how
what happened in 2023?
Huh?
What happened in 2023?
No.
When was the election last year?
22, yeah.
Yeah, you see what?
Yeah, but for the 10 years, who spoke for that 40%?
No, nobody was not listening.
But that's why democracy is flawed.
Something happened, and it didn't happen in violence. So sometimes you have to take your time. Don't rush.
All right.
You have a kind of stuff like that. Take your time.
I am Mr.
Take your time. You know that soccer song.
Take your time. Take your time.
Take your time. Don't rush.
Listen, I'm just confirming as a lifelong socialist that we do not believe in democracy.
You see, the point is that, Delbert, everybody don't think the same. And because everybody don't think the same,
hey, and that's fine.
In a society, you have different people. For example, we lost Spaceman this week. Spaceman from Sally.
That's a really good guy, a really good guy.
Spaceman changed Grenada. Most people might not. Spaceman is the man responsible for Grenada known on the international scene in sports. Spaceman break the barrier.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, no, I didn't tell you he make our sportsmen, but he puts us out there. When
I don't agree with that either.
Okay, that's what guys. This one not debate.
But John Diabo, who was from Ghana, was more responsible for Grenada becoming.
No, he was an individual. He was an individual. He's the first black man who should play whatever for Britain.
Who?
There was the first British footballer was of Grenadian origin. I don't know if it's him you're talking about.
No, I'm talking
his
about.
His father was a priest.
No, I'm talking about.
His mother was from Ghana.
I'm talking.
English lady might be able to help me there.
No. That's not.
Forget the guy name, man. The first black guy should play some football for England. I will pull it up when we don't talk.
Okay, and that's what I'm talking about.
All right. So
John Diabo was the one who was most instrumental in getting the Grenada Olympic Committee going, and more responsible for making Grenada I don't know if we can call it a sports powerhouse, but he was able to sell Grenada to the international sporting community.
That's on the marketing side, yes. I
long
agree
before,
with you.
long
What I'm
before
talking
Space,
about,
long before Spaceman did, and not
No, no.
only that, and secured a number of scholarships from the IOC.
yeah.
for
Well,
Grenadian
I
football
agree with
and
that. But what I'm talking about, the way I was saying Spaceman is the one who really make the thing. When I
Mm.
was a little boy, I know about Bowser and Ashby Judge and Alston Judge and all
Yeah.
these guys and them. They were great, right?
Yeah.
But the Spaceman era,
Mhm.
we were able to create test cricketers and runners, like people, like for the other day I was listening to the Mighty and Lucky.
Mhm.
He was on the Bob program, and they find out he's the one who wrote the first independent song.
Okay.
Right, you know this song, something Cool Water, something.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. I
very
know they want
popular.
to honor this song.
Very
And the guy
popular.
said,
Yeah.
he joined a Calypso tent in St. George's. And Lord Melody used to let everybody sing. And when the crowd could, I learned to sing because he was from the country.
Yeah.
You understand? And
No,
when I
Space, listen,
when I-
I'm not taking anything away from Spaceman.
When I listen
Spaceman
to
made
what-
he made an immense contribution to sports in Grenada.
when I heard Mighty and Lucky say that,
Mhm.
you know what talent tongue people kill? Because the guy was from the country. He said they went in when the crowd go to
I'm not touching that one.
Hudson Judge.
You gotta get to deal with Hudson, that issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need backup. I need backup.
Tongue people tell no, Grenada don't print me because I'm from the country. I don't like tongue people.
Oh my God.
I write in newspaper. They say don't print me.
All right. That's why another Saturday. However, I'm hoping to go back to the Saturday
They
night
should
thing
build a
after.
monument for Spaceman for changing.
Hold on.
Grenada.
Then Hudson and guys.
And I think Kit Mitchell had become scared of Spaceman to that why he stopped running for election. He was getting too popular.
Yeah. You know, he acted
I know that.
prime minister more than one occasion.
He
you know.
was getting too popular.
Yeah.
He don't like competition, guys.
Spaceman stop run.
He don't like competition, so forget that.
Then they
that
give
happen.
him Pablo one thumb. They never give Pablo a portfolio, and then Pablo.
And I was
What
disappointed.
are you attacking Pablo? What are you attacking Pablo for now?
No, not Pablo. You Pablo. I'm talking about
Oh, the next guy. Okay.
Yeah, and Pablo is another good guy, man. He's a good guy.
Christian Paul, that Pablo attacking.
Oh, okay.
Roseville.
Yeah. From Roseville. All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, again, thank you guys for coming here.
Anyway, man.
Mr. Unison Joseph, you have a Grenada Association Toronto invite you to the annual Christmas Bazaar, December 9th, 2023, Christmas of Nativity, 10 Swells Road, 2 p.m. Swells Road. Registration date November 4th to the 25th, 2023. Come out with your family for an evening of Christmas fun, cheers with friends and shopping. Goodies on sales and photos with Santa for the kids. All right, again, free toys for children, 12 and under.
I just hope you guys have a black Santa.
I hope so. Children name, age, and gender. What? Oh, Grenada Toronto
at gmail.com. You could just elaborate a little bit more on your event. So
yes. So before we go further, we lost a stalwart in the Grenada organization within the month, Adrian Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
That's why last week when you called John, I was at the funeral, and he was one of our Santa for a number of years. So we pay homage to Adrian Pitt, the son of Pitt, the what's his name? The father.
Hold on. The Kringle?
Yeah.
He passed away?
Yeah, I put it out on the GTA.
Hold on.
I sent it out.
I interviewed this guy on the oh my goodness. How he made that?
That guy was Lord Pitt, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the guy, man. He and Mr. Vivek was good friends.
You know, he just got
a very friendly guy.
Are we talking the same guy that getting the black history
that's correct.
in Toronto, yeah?
Yeah.
His brother was a Chief Justice of Ontario.
Yes.
Right.
Fit,
I know,
yeah.
I know.
So we lost him. The funeral was on Saturday. So that's why
That's
when
very
John
sad news for me. You know something? I was talking to, this is crazy, you know? This is
But
crazy.
John, it goes back to when I became the president of the Grenada Association.
Oh my God.
One thing I asked for was a list of all our former presidents or members. You know, I found out Mr. Pitt died 2 days before the funeral. And the only way I found out was I've been attacked. And Hudson warned me about that. I've been attacked saying why the current president is not, sending out any information on Mr. Pitt. And I had no idea that he passed away. So we have a gap in the diaspora here that we need to start documenting our folks that contribute so much to life and accommodation in the diaspora. So that is something I hope, John, with your platform and networking with Mr. George, the walking historian here, we could put something together and document our people, especially in the 80s and 90s, people in that, because now they are shut-ins, they're not that visible anymore. And sometimes the isolation is what affects them the most and kills them. Yeah. So that is something we have to look on a serious basis. So yes, that was our Santa for a lot of years. So yes, we do have a Black Santa. And now we have a Santa from Guelph, dark. So we try to keep him because that's where Hudson gonna come. So we have the Children's Christmas Bazaar at Swells, the Church of Nativity, coming up. And then we have our independence celebrations. The GIPC has their independence. So we're looking forward. Maybe our good friend in New York there with the clock at the back of him could make the trip. It's time. It's telling him, the clock is telling him it's time to come to the northern part of North America.
I think it's the Thanksgiving services on the 4th of February, 3 p.m.
Yes.
The flag raising ceremony, 7 p.m. at 12 p.m. Independence Gala, the 10th of February, and Showcase Grenada, February 18th. Yes?
Yes, that's correct.
I have a difficult relationship with independence. So
okay. So
then again, you get in trouble. Then again, you get in trouble. What? It's a good thing you said that.
So long we have a governor general and now a king.
No, I don't support you with that one this morning. I don't know the MP in the south of Grenada. They don't say that, they invoke a lot of Gary thing, make painting of Grenada and planting plot. That Gary thing. Revival was not a bad thing.
That was one of Gary trademark. No.
Of course.
Folks, I gotta go. Rachel, thank you again, and we look forward to have you back here again.
He probably grew up in a Gary household.
No, it's not that. Every leader in the past do something good, and if it's good, bring it back. I don't have a problem with it.
I think beautifying Grenada is no wrong with beautifying Grenada. However, we got to beautify Gem FM too. So again, folks, we asking those of you out there to donate to Gem FM as well. Go to the website www.gemfm.ca and make a donation. It could be a monthly contribution of $5, $2, whatever, $10 a month. It'll be appreciated to keep this station going and to do the things that we want to do here. And don't forget, those of you in Toronto, on the 9th of December, our 5th annual Red and White Affair dinner and award ceremony happening on the 9th of December, 925 Western Road, is $60 per ticket. Come on out and be part of that. And if you need more tickets, Eventbrite is a place to go. And you could contact me personally for tickets. 437-980-7467 is the number to call for your tickets. All right, Hudson, looking forward to see you.
Why is it red and white? Which are the two gods you worship in this?
I don't worship no God. It's just a red and white affair.
St. Patrick,
No, you don't know. Hey, don't bring that God in my stuff. This is not to do no God.
Hudson,
you use God quality consciousness. This is my not no God stuff in it. But that's what we call it like God. No, I just doing the red and white. Brother White, not to do with your God consciousness stuff. Okay? Leave this stuff, this no worshiping, no.
Isn't
but
red
I don't-
and white the what's the
Already Shango.
but the Buddhas I think are into red too.
No, but red is
Brother
Shango.
White is Canada flag, right? I'm going that. Leave it alone.
Red is for the
It's
Canada flag. Brother White.
No, Hudson. I know what he's celebrating. I forgot. Red and white was the flag of the revolution. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, no, red and white, yes. That was the first part of the
Yeah, he got sold out.
I'm hoping that sometime in the future we'll discuss the Cuban relation to the demise of the Grenada Revolution. Keep that in mind, guys.
No, I don't take part in that. I don't know what the Grenada Revolution.
But John, there's another unrest in the Caribbean that we have to talk about.
Which one?
In the Caribbean basin, the Venezuela, Guyana.
Yes.
Unison.
Yes, sir.
That Venezuela situation, I will do a little impromptu on it. I don't want to say long. That is a double standard thing. I remember when Fidel Castro offered to Bonham soldiers to fend off Venezuela.
Yes.
No, wrong. I don't think Cuba will say that.
No, because the geopolitics change.
Exactly.
And then again, the dispute between Guyana and Trinidad and Venezuela, there is no wrong and right in that, because that oil and gas, the British was the last colonizer of that area.
Yeah.
Spanish came, then the Dutch came, then the French came, and then the English came. So the international community, they might give Venezuela, say Venezuela wrong. Colonialism is wrong. The oil really belongs to the Caribbean people of that region. The other day, I had to tell some, there is a thing in the Caribbean where the Jamaicans had this mentality that they are the biggest speaking Caribbean people. They might have the biggest population, but I told them the Bahamas is cover more square miles when you add up all the islands than Jamaica. Now they have this thing eating St. Guyana, though they're in the Caribbean. I had to tell them the other day.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
What is Barbados?
Jamaica was not a Caribbean island because the word Caribbean come from the word Carib. So if Guyana is not in the Caribbean, and Guyana is where the Caribs came from. The Caribs came from Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and Cayenne. I told them that on the line. I said, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico was 10 years that was there. Wherever the Caribbean live is the Caribbean. So Guyana is in the Caribbean. I told them the Caribbean
But Hudson,
is just
you
a
are right.
shallow part of the Atlantic Ocean.
Guyana is going to win that in the tribunal.
Well, the international
That decision has already been made.
And I believe in the future, Guyana will be a place where the Western world will come back, and they will create a thing in Guyana and make it. Why, don't suppose you see a mass migration of Black people going into Guyana in the next 10, 15 years.
I agree with you.
First batch will be coming from the Caribbean country. The US and Britain is going to go back there.
Yeah. Well, they're already back.
They're back in the form of their cooperation. The America had troops in there early in 2018, 2019. Yes?
Yeah.
The troops were in there when Putin landed.
Obama did favor the Black Party.
Who?
Obama had favor the Black Party. Yes. It's Donald Trump who didn't want them. I don't know what was the reason.
Well,
because they were Black.
Yeah. Simple as that. Folks, thank you guys so much for being here, man.
Obama did prefer that. So it's a big game. Well, next time when you come back, you have to tell about life in England to compare with Grenada.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, I missed that.
I said next time you must come and tell us about life in Britain to compare with Grenada.
Oh, yeah. No probs. Ask. I'm an open book. Ask whatever you want. But there's no comparison.
Go on, hide. Come back.
All right. Hudson, leave the lady alone.
We did it. So you can come in. We did it.
All right. All right.
All right, Doug.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Hey,
ladies
Thank you very
Delbert,
much.
ladies and gentlemen.
stop saying you don't like February 7th. You have to quit before you walk.
We don't become wealthy by chance.
No, I said I have a difficult relationship with
You
it.
gotta quit before you walk.
Don't worry, we're working there, but don't worry.
I think I know where you're coming from, Delbert.
I have a.
Yes. All right, folks. Oh, bless
Later.
you. Listen, I gotta go to a wedding.
All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Come on.
Have a great afternoon.
Okay.
I'll.
God bless. Thank you again. All right.
Oh gosh, speaking intelligent. Wow, he's so magnificent. Oh gosh, the people he represent. Yes, and he will not relent. Oh gosh, the country about heart. Not an opinion, that is a fact. We begin the future, right? Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. We vote in the heart, the heart, the heart, the heart. Go vote, go vote, go vote. Go vote. All right, stick it right by the heart. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibe. The best picture and we like it. Mitchell won't tell you no lie. We have the best picture and we like it. Intelligent, full of vibe. The best picture and we like it. Mitchell won't tell you no lie. Voting for Prime Minister, oh, for a prosperous Grenada. Let's travel live back together, oh. We get on our side, the future real bright. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. We vote in the heart, the heart, the heart, the heart. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. All right, stick it right by the heart. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibe. The best picture and we like it. Mitchell won't tell you no lie. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibe. The best picture and we like it. Mitchell won't tell you no lie. We have a charismatic young leader. Having a bright future is the mantra. Our sweet country going through well. The captain to steer the ship is Declan Mitchell. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. We vote in the heart, the heart, the heart, the heart. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. All right, stick it right by the heart. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibe. The best picture and we like it. Mitchell won't tell you no lie. We have the best picture and we like it.
And we have the vote. We, the citizens of Grenada, have that vote. And so I repeat, take part in the political process. If you want to change the narrative of the political process, if you want to move it from being destructive and negative and in the gutter, take it. If that's not what you stand for, take part and change the narrative, change the culture, so that we can ultimately change our society.